RV Adventures. I got a funny one for you today, so y'all have to have a sense of humor for this one. This is going to be RV terms. Some you may have heard and some you probably haven't heard before because we coined them. So let's get into today's video. As you can see, Sam, my little boys, keeping the top of this recliner warm. Anyway, so let's jump right into it. The first one is called the leap and crawl. This is when you're tooling down a highway, not on an interstate or freeway, but on a secondary road, and you have a car parked or a vehicle parked on a side road that wants to pull out. They look right at you, pull out in front of you, and then proceed to crawl along. That is called the leap and crawl. And it's really difficult if you're pulling a trailer and they pull out in front of you, because you can't slow down super fast. But the leap and crawl, we've experienced that one a lot. The next one we have is called the drifter. This one usually happens on a freeway, and they'll be in the number 1 lane and decide they have to get off the freeway in a hurry, and they drift across all the lanes to get to their exit or their off ramp. So that's called the drifter. They don't care about anybody that's in their way. They're getting off that freeway. So that's called the drifter. One of my very favorites is called the Meerkat. Meerkat, actually this one has happened a lot to us. So after I explain what Meerkat is, I'll tell you the funny story about meerkats. So Meerkat is when either you're pulling into a campsite, backing into a campsite, people come out and they have to watch. I think the backing one is where they really come out more. So they stand around and they look like a bunch of meerkats, the little critters that stand on their 2 legs and look around to protect their pack. Well, that's a meerkat. So we were at a campground and I was moving a friend's big 5th wheel for her. And it was in a really, really tight spot to get the 5th wheel parked and backed in. In fact, it was so tight that the owner of the campground had to stand on the top of the 5th wheel to hold up the cable wires so we could get underneath it. So all the people, mostly men, came out to watch the little 5'0" little army truck driver that I used to be back this 5th wheel in. So those are called meerkats. I think we probably had about 20 people out there watching me back this in. So that's meerkat. You'll see it anytime you go to back in. Of course, some of the common RV terms that you've heard, boondock, of course, where you're, thanks Sam, where you're parked and you don't have any hookups. And we just did that recently down in Magnolia Beach. We were boondocking down there. Great experience, but it got cold and windy, but that was fun. Of course, mooch dock, we did that about a month or so ago at my girlfriend's house down in Florida. And we were down there for 3 weeks. So it was a great place to park. We had water, we were under a shelter with the camper, and we installed a clean out on her sewer pipe that goes to her septic so we could actually dump our sewage with a blue boy. So another one I know everybody's heard is stinky slinky. The hose where you dump the black water and gray water. And I don't care whose it is, they all stink. And please be kind and don't be dumping your black tanks. If somebody's sitting close to your RV, wait till nobody's around. At least be courteous about that, because I don't care, they all smell. It's just how it is. Turd counter. Turd counter is the termination valve at the very end of your stinky slinky that goes into the sewer, into the clean out. And you can tell when your water is running clear if you're flushing your tank or dumping your tanks. So that is called a turd counter. I don't know who made that one up, but that's just what it's called.
The 90-degree turd counter at the end of your stinky slinky.
bucket list. I'm sure everybody knows what that is, but if you've got things that you want to do that you haven't done, you know, life is not guaranteed. Your life is not guaranteed another day, another hour. So do the things on your bucket list. Enjoy life. Be kind. It's so important. But get things done on your bucket list so you won't have any regrets down the road. Knee knocker. Oh, this one my husband has done tons of time. We have, of course, we pull a 38-foot Grand Design Reflections 315 that I absolutely love. But of course, we have a big hitch off the back of our truck. And if you're not careful, you come around the back of the truck and you run smack dab in it unless he's taken it off. So I call that the knee knocker because that sure does hurt. And along those same lines, if you have a fifth wheel and you stand up underneath your fifth wheel, you get a head knocker because we used to have a fifth wheel or underneath the slides and you stand up. If you've got a compartment underneath there and you stand up and you knock your head. So we ended up putting pool noodles on our slides on our fifth wheel so hubby would stop running into him, and if he did, he wouldn't be as hurt as bad. Poop patrol. I'm looking at my cheater list because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. Poop patrol. Of course, having dogs, going to the doggy park, I always do poop patrol because even if my dog didn't do it, I clean up the whole park, the whole dog park. I leave it better than I found it because if you turn around, most likely you'll find it when you step in it. So when I take my dogs to the park, I clean the whole park. Always leave it better than you found it. I don't know why people have such a hard time cleaning up after their dogs. I don't know if it's laziness. I don't know what it is, but I sure wouldn't want anybody have to clean up after my pets. So as a courtesy, leave it better than you found it. FBs. That's the nickname for our dogs. Of course, that means fur babies because they are our fur babies. So real estate. This one's kind of a fun one. Real estate is when it's been kind of muddy or wet outside and you track in all kinds of dirt into your house. We call it bringing in the real estate. So sometimes it's hard to keep your RV clean when it's muddy or rainy. Even if you've got rugs, you wipe your feet off, you got a patio area out there, you still end up bringing real estate into the house. Go-go juice. Of course, that's either if your vehicle takes diesel fuel or gasoline. You got to have your go-go juice to go down the road. Important thing to have. White shoe RVer. We haven't quite been able to do this one, but you'll see people with their very nice rigs and they're wearing white tennis shoes. I don't know how they keep their shoes so clean. So we call them the white shoe RVs. RVers. Let me correct myself. White shoe RVers. So, no, I don't think I'll be wearing white shoes because you do get dirty hooking and unhooking up your camper. But we laugh when we see people, you know, with their white tennis shoes on. I don't know how they keep them so clean working around the rig, but obviously they do. So those are called a white shoe RV. The me first syndrome. This one I love. It doesn't matter if you're pulling a rig or if you're just driving down the street where somebody passes you really, really quick so they can get to the red light 5 seconds before you. I call that the me first syndrome. California was really bad. I was just visiting my kids there. The me first syndrome was alive and well. So, yep, the me first syndrome. The next one is Lurker. So Lurker is somebody who won't talk to you even if you say hello to them, but they watch everything you do. So they're kind of along the same lines as a creeper. Of course, my dogs decided they're going to bark at who knows what. So Lurker and creeper are kind of the same. Creeper is somebody who kind of hangs back and watches you. Lurker stares at you. I don't like lurkers or creepers, especially when I talk to them and they won't make eye contact with you. Creepy. Anyways. Oh, the island. This is one of ours that we see a lot here, especially in Texas. On the freeway, you'll have one lane of traffic that's going really, really slow. So everybody changes lanes to get around them. And up ahead, there'll be a car doing 40 miles an hour on the freeway. That's called an island. Makes it difficult, can cause accidents, and sometimes it could be little blue hairs. And I'm not condemning little blue hairs because I'm rocking my great pandemic hair, but that's called the island. So that's my list for right now. I might add some more as I think of it, but I just wanted to do a fun video. I haven't been on too much lately just because I was visiting my kids in California and we're back here in Texas. So as always, leave it better than you found it. Make it a great day. God bless, and we'll see you on the next video. Oh my gosh, I forgot 4 more words y'all need to know, which you probably know 2 of them, which is Wally Dock, when you stay in the Walmart parking lot for the night, and Cracker Dock, when you stay in the Cracker Barrel parking lot. But 2 that we use here in our household that my husband coined is Lummus. Leave my stuff alone. You can interchange a different word if you choose. If you get my drift. In 38 feet, I don't know how things get moved, but they do. I'll put something and I know exactly where it is, and I go to get it and it ain't there. Ask hubby, and yes, he's moved it. So Lummus comes into play. Leave my stuff alone. And finally, the last word that my husband coined is ditmus. Don't touch my stuff. So I'm sure husbands and wives, you can relate to that. So please, if you have some that you guys use or I missed some, please put them in the comments below. We'd love to hear them as well. So God bless. We'll see you on the next video.